Let's bring in our expert, Clark Hodges. He's a financial strategist. And Clark, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Good to be back on with you.
You bet. So many of these people out there, and in fact, specifically 32% of baby boomers surveyed said they are choosing to start businesses primarily because they're doing so well, or doing so will allow them to be independent.
Yeah, I love this story for a couple of reasons, but the fact is that, and you know this, Rodney, as well as anybody, people are outliving their money in retirement years. And a lot of people are forced to retire, and because of the type of job, maybe a physical type job. So they really do need to think of another career after their main career, and this is proof that people over 50 are thinking about that. And another thing that I think is really a learning thing in this is the fact that it takes guts and you're taking a risk. And the millennials are not doing that by and large. I think the millennial generation is really scared to take risk. I equate it to the generation that lived through the Great Depression. They were pretty risk adverse the rest of their life. I'm talking about a guy like my grandfather. He was not taking risks at all because he lived through the Depression. And a lot of these millennials saw their parents go bankrupt, lose their house, lose money in the stock market, and they're just very risk adverse. But these over 50-ers are doing it, getting out there and taking a chance, and I think it's wonderful.
I do too, especially because it's a different mindset, and like Susie was quick to say before, which is so true. We think age discrimination does not apply anymore, and that we have systems in HR set up against that, but it does certainly happen. So it's great that they found another resource for income.
Well, and people have great ideas. I mean, you think about it, you've been sitting there at work doing your job for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you know you have great ideas. I mean, you've been sitting around a lot of times at happy hour thinking some great ideas, right, Abe?
Yeah, drinking makes me so smart.
Yeah, and when you do that, then basically you want to put those ideas to work. But in all seriousness here, people have these ideas and they want to create because they say, I could go create this business, and I want them to do that. Yep. I mean, I want people to follow their passion.
And you only know that with age and time.
That's what I was about to say. With age comes wisdom and experience. So a lot of these people have been, feeding the machine for so long, and then now they're old enough and wise enough and have the great ideas. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And a lot of people get to the point after working for the man, so to speak, for so many years, the lifestyle enhancements of owning your own business far outweigh the money they make.
Sure, and not having a boss anymore. I'm 70 years old. I don't need anybody to boss me around. You know.
Clark, do you have any good ideas that I can steal?
Have
you know what Freddie Ann did?
What did she do? You know I love Freddie Ann. How is she?
She made an app.
Oh, I know about Freddie Ann's app.
Yeah, you know about the app.
What is it?
I forgot about that.
Tell them about the app.
And so that, I really encouraged her to tell herself, at her age, at 11 years old when she did that, you are thinking creatively, and that'll make you money in your lifetime. And that's really what you need, is a mentality to think, there's a better way to do this, or I can come up with an idea. And I think shows like Shark Tank that are so popular nowadays, I think kids that watch those learn a lot from it. And I think it's a wonderful conversation to have around the house.
Yep, it just gets you in that mindset that you're in charge of your own destiny and that anything is possible and you can be part of something as big as Shark Tank.
Yeah, and you could sit there and go, why didn't I think of that?
Oh, I can't tell you how many times a day I think that. Why didn't I think of that? Post-its, Post-it notes, come on.
Jade and I were watching Shark Tank a couple weeks ago, and we're sitting there, and I go, I don't like that guy. When I first see, you can get a pretty good feeling of people, and I never normally say that. And this guy come out, and he was slick, and his other partner was slick. And they're like, what'd you do in your normal business? And he said, I'm a mortgage loan officer.
You saw yourself. You said, wait a minute.
No. Yeah, he just sat there, and he was in a suit, and he was this, and he was that, and he was just...
He's like, I don't like something about that guy.
Talking $1 million, a million miles a minute and all that.
Yeah.
So here's a lot of the message, Clark. Get up out of your rocking chair, and let's go.
Stop rocking and start rocking and rolling.
You bet. Start taking those eyes and monetizing them. And you can do it. And you know what? Another advantage we all have today is the social media. You can actually create revenue from just putting it out on Facebook or something like that. You don't need to have a store to put it in. You know, you do need a website probably, but it's a lot easier to get the word out today for these small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just ask Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Little company like that they built, Jeff Bezos and those guys. Clark, where can everybody find you? Your company's fantastic. Where can everybody find you guys?
HodgesCapital.com. You can click on that thing and email me or call 214-954-1177, and Noel will get you to me.
All right. Thanks, Clark. We appreciate you.